Hey everybody, welcome to Slash Bash, where today I am bringing you another Choosing Beggar Reddit video. If you are new to the channel, then now's the time to subscribe and click on notifications so you don't miss out on the fun. In our first story today, a drunk choosing beggar needs some money to get home after a night out, but when he demands more than was offered, the police have something to say about it. Let's jump right in. This happened in 2012. I had broken up with my girlfriend about a month before and decided to go to Boston and treat myself to a night out. I drove into the city and parked my car near Faneuil Hall Marketplace, a very popular shopping and dining spot, and went to a great seafood restaurant for some swordfish and clam chowder. I had brought about $200 with me, and after eating, seeing a movie at the IMAX theater, and buying a few things, I had about $83 left. I went back to my car and put what I bought inside and decided to keep walking around. I ended up at Boston Common, near Downtown Crossing, when I was approached by a man who was walking up the road cursing and pissed off. He walked up to me and I could smell the alcohol on him. Our cast, Drunk Beggar, Officer Number 1, Officer Number 2, and me, Mr. Boston.
Hey, man.
Yeah?
Look, they just kicked me out of the bar. I don't have enough money for a cab to get to Lynn. Do you think you could help me out?
Normally, I wouldn't get involved, but I did feel a little sorry for him. My first big mistake. I wasn't going to shell out the money for a cab to Lynn because that was probably around a $50 cab ride. Why don't you take the commuter rail to Lynn? It's cheaper.
Yeah, I don't even have the money for that.
Okay. I pull out my wallet, which was my second big mistake, and give him $6, which would be enough for the train.
That's all?
That's enough for the train.
Yeah, but I need a cab when I get to Lynn.
Well, sorry man, I can't afford to give you any more.
Yeah, you can. I saw what you had in your wallet. You have a bunch of 20s in there.
I only had 2 20s, the rest were mixed bills. Look man, just be happy with what you got. I'm sure you—
Flip you! Give me some more now.
He reaches and tries to snatch my wallet out of my hand. I pull it away and push him back. He backs into a trash can and falls over. I start walking by him and he grabs my ankle and dropped me to the ground. I smacked my face on the sidewalk, then he crawled over and started hitting me in the back of the head. I kept my hand on my wallet jammed in my jacket pocket and he was trying to pull my arm out. I then heard whoop whoop. It was the Boston Police Department. Drunk Beggar gets off me as Officer 1 and Officer 2 get out of the car. I staggered back to my feet as they approached.
Officers, this guy tried to steal my wallet.
Bull, let me see some IDs.
I don't have mine. He's got my wallet.
Me as I pulled my wallet back out. It's my wallet, officer. I flip it open and pull out my driver's license. Officer 2 comes up after I hand it to Officer 1. Officer 1 calls my info into the precinct. Put up your arms. What for? I'm the victim here. He said you took his wallet. I just want to do a pat down. I let him. At this point, I see blood dripping over my left eye. My forehead was cut. He did his pat down and only found my cigarettes and lighter. At this time, a second unit pulls up and 2 more officers get out. Are you okay? No. He came up asking me for money, and when I gave him $6, he wanted more. He tried to take my wallet.
No, that's my wallet.
He pulled his driver's license from it. Have you been drinking tonight, sir? Turn around, sir. Got any weapons on you, sir?
No.
Officer 2 proceeds to do a pat down on him and happens to find his wallet in his back pocket. He hands it to Officer 1, who looks and finds his ID. Officer 2 then puts his hands behind his back and cuffs him. You're under arrest. Officer 2 starts reading him his rights and Officer 1 calls in his info. After he finishes on the radio, he hands me back my ID. Would you like to go to the hospital, sir? No. You got a first aid kit in your car? Yeah, we can bandage that cut for you. Officer 2 puts Drunk Beggar in the back of the second unit's car, while Officer 1 went to the trunk for the first aid kit. He wiped off the wound with a swab and put 2 band-aids over the cut. They took my statement and the second unit leaves with Drunk Beggar. Officer 1 and Officer 2 drove me back to my car and I thanked them. Before I drove home, I went into a pharmacy and got a bottle of aspirin, took 4, then drove back home. I didn't have to appear in court, but Drunk Beggar's lawyer did contact me talking about a plea deal for a lesser sentence. I basically told him to flip off. That's what I get for trying to help people. Story 2 shows us a choosing beggar who wants to get a deal on a skateboard for their son. Well, I've been checking this subreddit every now and then. Recently, I had a convo with a person that to me looked like a choosing beggar. You be the judge. I was selling a skateboard deck for roughly 20 bucks, 2,000 in my country's currency, on a site that's my country's version of eBay or Craigslist. I mentioned everything that the buyer needed to know, including a drilled hole in the tail of the board, which was more of an aesthetic problem than an actual problem. This board was pretty much secondhand since I've used it. So a dude sends me a message via SMS at like 3 a.m., because you can leave your phone number so they can contact you faster, and asks me everything which was already listed on the listing: size, the wear, and price. I repeat myself here and mention the hole too. The dude probably didn't read anything and just saw a picture of the board and immediately contacted me. He lowballs me for 10 bucks, not worth it at all, and asks me to send it immediately. I decline the offer and say that the lowest I can go is 15 bucks, and then it starts. I can't pay that much. I want to get it for my kid, and I saw that someone was already selling a complete skateboard for 20 bucks. 10 bucks is fair enough, and I can send you the details for the shipping. The board is too big for my kid though, but he'll use it when he grows up. Also, what about the hole you mentioned? This is a rough translation, but even in my language, everything is all over the place with like 10 questions in a sequence. I decline again and tell him that he should get the other skateboard then. I also tell him to look at the actual listing to see the wear and the hole. It was pretty late, so I go to sleep for a bit. My phone starts ringing at 5 a.m. It's the guy, and I ignore it. He calls again at 6 a.m. and 10 a.m. Yes, I was stupid for not muting the sound on my phone. I tell him that I'm not interested, and he then offers me a whopping 12 bucks. I just ignore it and finally mute my phone. In the morning, another guy offers me my original price for the board, and I agree to that. That guy just asked me to save the board for him for a couple of days, to which I agree. I tell the other dude that it's reserved now and that I got the price I wanted. He then gets pissed off, tells me that he called me first and that he's now willing to give me 15 bucks for it. True, you did call me first, but you lowballed me. He had a better offer. Why would I sell the deck to you when I can get more money for it? I told you my lowest price and you declined. Not my problem. Kid, the deck is too big for my son. A smaller deck would suit him better, but there's time for that. Plus, the problem is the hole you were talking about. That other dude that offered you higher probably won't buy it in the end. Don't get your hopes up. Classic choosing beggar stuff when he doesn't get his way. I still don't realize how the deck being too big is my problem. He knew the measurements. Not once did he mention that he had a problem with the hole, until now. Of course, I declined again, and told him I'm saving the board for the other dude. He then replies, rather normally, "No problem, just call me back if your buyer backs out of buying the board." A couple of days pass and I sell the board to the other dude and I tell the choosing beggar that it's sold. He does the mature thing and starts flexing. He rambled on about how he got 2 boards for 20 bucks. I highly doubt that because there were no boards being sold that cheap on the site during that time. What a sad man. I'm glad I didn't sell it to him. This is John from Slash Bash. Thanks for watching. If you've enjoyed the video and want to see more of them, then please hit that subscribe button. It'd really help me hit that 10,000 subscriber goal that I have. We'd love for you to drop a like, share it with your friends, and we will see you in the next one.